syempre, he's younger. But beside that, I'm not worried about it. I'm concerned.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, 8 division, legendary, iconic Filipino superstar boxer, Manny Pacquiao. He does an interview and he states that he has no concerns with taking tests. He has no concerns with Errol Spence, undefeated, unified WBC, IBF, welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be top 3 pound-for-pound fighters in the world, Errol Spence Jr. With that said, Manny Pacquiao says his only concern going into his August 21st unification showdown, because he will be reinstated as the WBA super champion after being placed in champion in recess due to inactivity after defeating former unified welterweight world champion superstar boxer Keith one-time Thurman July of 2019. With that said, due to inactivity, the WBA, they put Manny Pacquiao as champion in recess. He will now be reinstated as the WBA super champion going into the August 21st showdown with Errol Spence. So there'll be 3 belts on the line: the WBC, IBF, and WBA. With that said, there was a lot of talk and a lot of reports that Manny Pacquiao did not want to enroll in VADA, okay? And that, this came from, Victor Conte, founder of Balco, founder of Snack. He stated that, he didn't want to be enrolled in VADA. So with that said, Manny Pacquiao was asked about this, and Manny Pacquiao, he responded, and he stated that he's not worried about it at all. The only thing that concerns him about this fight in its totality is that he's younger than him. Outside of the fact that Errol Spence is younger than him, 11 years younger than him, there is no concern on the part of Manny Pacquiao, because he says his size does not worry him, because he can neutralize Errol Spence's size with his speed. This is something that I personally asked Manny Pacquiao, and he stated that that's what's going to be the key for victory against Errol Spence, is that he has faster feet and faster hands. We know Errol Spence at 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. He's 31 years of age. Manny Pacquiao is 42 years of age, so he's 11 years older than Errol Spence Jr. He stands at 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. So Errol Spence is going to have nearly a 5-inch height advantage over Manny Pacquiao and a 5-inch arm reach advantage over Manny Pacquiao. And they're both southpaws, okay? But Manny Pacquiao, he states that he's going to enroll fully. He's going to, let his experience and his quickness be the difference in his fight. And he believes, he's fully confident that he's going to be victorious, okay? He has more knockouts in his career than Errol Spence has fights, okay? Manny Pacquiao, 62 wins, 7 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins by way of knockout. He himself, he was knocked out 3 times, okay? 2 times very early in his career, before we even knew Manny Pacquiao as we know today. And then he was obviously brutally knocked out by his rival, 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar, Hall of Fame legend, Juan Manuel Marquez, okay? With that said, he's very, very experienced. He's been in huge fights his entire career. He's part of the biggest fight in the history of sport of boxing between himself and retired, undefeated, former 5-division world champion, former pound-for-pound king and pay-per-view king, Floyd Money Mayweather. With that said, Errol Spence, 27 wins, no losses, no draws, 21 wins by way of knockout. And like I said, he's 31 years of age. So Manny Pacquiao was also asked about Errol Spence's last fight that took place December 5th against 2-division world champion, former unified junior welterweight world champion, former WBC welterweight world champion, and Danny Swift Garcia. And he says that what he saw in that fight was that Errol Spence wasn't as quick as he used to be, and maybe the car accident that he suffered just 12 days after unifying the belts against 2-time welterweight world champion superstar boxer Showtime Shawn Porter, September 28th, he suffered a horrific car accident October 10th, and Manny Pacquiao says he doesn't know if that's the reason, but it was a good performance on the part of Errol Spence, but he's just too slow for what he brings to the table, okay? Like I said, they're both southpaws, so the southpaw advantage is taken away. Errol Spence is very technically sound. He has a lot of skills. He has a great jab. And those are the type of boxers that have always given Manny Pacquiao tons and tons of trouble, okay? Pure boxers, not aggressors, okay? Aggressors and, sluggers, those fighters never gave Manny Pacquiao issues because his quickness, his feet, his quick hands, his angles, his power, that always neutralized his opponent. And so when I talked to Manny Pacquiao, I asked him what's the key to victory for himself and how would he approach a fight with Errol Spence, and he told me it's speed. He says he cannot match him in size and cannot match him in strength, although he does have punching power, but ultimately it's going to be his speed that is the difference in the fight between himself and Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence, he believes it's going to be his timing. Errol Spence is training to stop Manny Pacquiao. Errol Spence says that, he's looking to make a statement against Manny Pacquiao. So, is Errol Spence looking to box? We know he has the ability to box. We know he's versatile. He showed that when he took on 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Mikey Garcia on a pay-per-view event. Mikey Garcia had 37 wins and no losses, no draws on his resume, okay, at the time. So Mikey Garcia, very experienced, Hall of Famer. And Errol Spence just simply outboxed the guy. And Mikey Garcia has similar size as Manny Pacquiao. Mikey Garcia is 5'6" with a 68-inch arm reach. So Manny Pacquiao is 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. The difference is athletic ability. Manny Pacquiao is much quicker on his feet than Mikey Garcia, and he has much faster hands than Mikey Garcia, and he has more power than Mikey Garcia. So it's going to be interesting to see if Errol Spence chooses to utilize his range, utilize distance, control the pace of the fight, because that's what ultimately gives Manny Pacquiao the trouble. Boxers, slick boxers that have counterpunch ability. He fought Juan Manuel Marquez 4 times, and those are all very, very close fights. Now, I personally myself gave Manny Pacquiao the first fight because I felt like Manny Pacquiao dropping Juan Manuel Marquez 3 times in one round. The fight should have been halted. Okay, that should have been it. It should have been end to the fight, but there was no 3 knockdown rule. So the fight ended up, Marquez got back to his feet, and the fight ended in a draw. With that said, the 2 fights in between saw a very, very close fight for both guys, but Manny Pacquiao, he got the nod. And then in the 4th fight, he was brutally knocked out in a counterpunch from Juan Manuel Marquez. So, and what Marquez brings to the table is counterpunch ability. He has power in both hands, but he's very accurate, has great timing, and has great counterpunch ability. Now, Errol Spence, but he has those same intangibles as well. He possesses those same tools in the toolbox as well. It's all about if he chooses to use them. Now, he's back with a strength and condition coach, Blu-ray, in which when you look at the fights, there's a difference. Okay, he still, showed great skill set without Blu-ray, but the difference in his approach, the difference in the physicality was different when he fought Lamont Peterson, Chris Algieri, Kell Brook. The physicality was completely different from when he fought Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia. Okay, you can see the difference, and Errol Spence is admitting of that. Okay, so now Errol Spence is looking to make a statement against Manny Pacquiao, the bigger, stronger guy. Now, Manny Pacquiao says his youth is a concern. That's the only thing that would be a worry to him. We saw in his fight with Keith Thurman, who was a much younger guy than Manny Pacquiao, but he's slightly older than Errol Spence. In the second half of the fight, it seemed like he started to fade. Now, he dropped Keith Thurman in the first round. In the 10th round, he badly hurt Keith Thurman to the body. But it looked like Manny Pacquiao started to fade in the second half of the fight, in which the fight ended in a split decision victory for Manny Pacquiao. So it wasn't a unanimous decision victory. He didn't get a knockout or a stoppage. It was a split decision victory in favor of Manny Pacquiao. So with that, and it showed Keith Thurman was landing big, clean punches. He was starting to walk Manny Pacquiao down, but the experience, the power stayed there. The power is the last thing to go in the sport of boxing as you age. Your reflexes and your speed, Father Time suddenly taps you on the shoulder and they disappear. Your power stays, okay? Big George Foreman showed us that. So the power is the last thing to go. So Keith Thurman, he did have to be very cautious. That's how he got, caught to the body in the 10th round, badly hurt, and Keith Thurman spit out his mouthpiece, started running around, had to try to catch his breath. Had to survive because Manny Pacquiao at that point in time was looking to finish Keith Thurman. So, but like I said, his reflexes didn't seem to be the same. His speed didn't seem to be the same in the second half of the fight. His power still was there. So you have to be cautious of that. So I believe that that's why Manny Pacquiao is saying that his youth is the only thing that gives him cause for pause. And everything else does not give him cause for pause. So Manny Pacquiao, he says that he's not worried about Errol Spence outside of his youth. He says that he's managing, the fact that he's a Senate in the Philippines looking to run for president. Errol Spence said he's looking to send him off in retirement quickly into running for president. So he says that he has a regiment. Time, he's respect the time. He knows that he has to put the work in this interview. He said that he knows he has to put the work in. He knows that, Errol Spence is, a serious opponent. He respects Errol Spence. He knows he's a young, hungry fighter, but he believes his experience and his speed is going to be the difference. So let's see how this plays out August 21st in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
This is Amanda, the real deal Serrano, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.